Hey there, are you feeling stuck? I bet you're probably smashing your head against the wall right about now, wondering why you're feeling that way. Actually, I hope you're not. Well, I got something for you. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name is Karl J.Jacobi, and I'm thrilled you decided to join us today. So today, we're going to be diving into something that's not just a topic for me, but it's a chapter straight out of my own life story. Feeling stuck. You know that sensation when you run on a treadmill at the gym, you're sweating buckets, your legs are pumping, but when you hop off, you're still exactly where you started. Except in life, there's no cool down smoothie waiting for you at the end. Well, maybe if you keep stats in your fridge, but you get my point. I remember a time when I was juggling a job, multiple businesses, and life, trying to keep up with everyone else's expectations, and yet, despite all the hustle, I felt like I was going nowhere fast, like I was in one of those hamster wheels, but less cute and with fewer sunflower seeds. But here's the thing. I realized there were certain habits, sneaky little culprits, that were keeping me stuck without me even realizing it. And once I spotted them, everything started to change. So today, I'm going to share some surprising habits that might be keeping you stuck too. And don't worry, I'm not just here to point fingers unless it's at myself. I'll also show you exactly how to shift those habits and get you back to making real progress. So grab a snack, get comfy, and maybe even get a notepad if you're feeling a little extra studious. Ready? Cool, let's dive in. All right, so let's kick things off with the big one. Numero uno, perfectionism. Yes, the art of setting the bar so high that even pole vaulters look up and say, nah, I'm good. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent an embarrassing amount of time adjusting the fonts on a presentation that only 3 people are gonna see. Or rewriting that email draft for the 17th time because sincerely, just doesn't quite capture the depth of the appreciation. You see, perfectionism is a sneaky little fella because it disguises itself as a noble pursuit. I just want it to be the best it can be, is what we tell ourselves, right? But in reality, perfectionism is just fear in a fancy little suit. It keeps you on the sidelines, convincing you that you're not yet ready or that the timing isn't right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, opportunities pass by like express trains while you're still double checking our tickets. So what's the antidote, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Embrace good enough. Now, I know that phrase good enough is probably going to ruffle some feathers in some ways, but bear with me. I mean it in a different context. I know. Good enough sounds like just settling, right? But think of it this way. A 70% solution you act on today beats a 100% solution that you never execute. That's what stifled me for a long time. Just take that first step. Even if it's not perfect, focus on the execution and progress rather than trying to be perfect. Send that email, launch that project, post that imperfect blog, just like I am posted this imperfect video. You'll be amazed at how much momentum you can build when you stop waiting for the stars to align and start aligning yourself with those stars. And hey, if things don't go perfectly, at least you'll have a funny story to tell later, right? Trust me, I've got plenty. Up next is a sneaky little habit I like to call the someday mindset. You know, that magical land of someday where all our dreams live happy ever after. I'll start that business someday. I'll write that novel someday. I'll learn to play the ukulele while juggling flaming torches someday. Okay, maybe that last one was just me. You see, I used to be the mayor of Somedayville. I had big plans. I was going to learn French, travel the world, become a gourmet chef. Okay, maybe not. But I kept telling myself I'll focus on these goals when things slow down or when I have more time. Spoiler alert! Things never slow down. And the only French I learned was croissant, which I actually mispronounced, and I still mispronounce to this very day. Even my son tries to correct me on the correct way of saying croissant or whatever. Joke's on me. Does any of this ring a bell? The truth is, someday often translates to never. Life doesn't roll out the red carpet labeled Now is the perfect time. If anything, life is more like a chaotic game of Twister. If you've never played it, I encourage you that you do. You just have to find your balance and make your move, even if you're not entirely sure where your left foot is supposed to go. I don't even know where my left foot is half the time. So you might be asking, so how do we escape Sundayville? By taking action today. It's that simple. And I don't mean packing up your entire life and moving to Bali to start your surf school. Unless that's your jam. In that case, can I visit? I mean, picking one small action you can take right now. Maybe it's sending that email you've been drafting in your head for weeks. Or maybe finally signing up for the online course that's been sitting in your browser tabs, silently judging you. The key is to break down the big, intimidating goal into bite-sized pieces. You've heard the adage or the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Just that. It's like eating an elephant. Maybe you don't want to eat an elephant. The point is, take it one small step at a time, because each one of these small actions is a vote for the person you want to become. And before you know it, someday becomes today. And your dreams start to look like a lot less like fantasies, a lot more like plans. All right, now let's talk about something that I bet has affected all of us at some point. Comparison overload. Ah, yes, the scrolling through social media and feeling your self-esteem plummet faster than a skydiver without a parachute. I can actually almost hear Danger Will Robinson right now.
Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson!
You may remember that. Okay, maybe you're not as old as I am. Anyways, if you haven't, you're missing out. All right, picture this. It's Sunday morning. You're in your pajamas that have more holes than Swiss cheese, sipping coffee that's more like lukewarm bean water because you forgot to buy that new filter. You decide to open Instagram for a quick peek. First post, your college roommate is now the CEO of a tech startup. Second post, your coworker just ran a marathon, barefoot. Third post, some influencer is on a yacht in the Mediterranean with a caption that reads, "Just another Monday." Suddenly, your achievements feel about as impressive as a participation trophy from kindergarten. Can you relate? Here's the thing. Social media is nothing but the highlight reel, not the blooper reel. You're only seeing everyone's best day. No one posts about the burnt toast they had for breakfast or the fact that they tripped over their own feet in public. Guilty as charged. Yet we compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's curated gallery. Like I said, everybody's perfect day, right? I once spent an entire afternoon feeling inadequate because someone I barely knew posted a picture of their immaculate living room, complete with stylish decor, and not even a speck of dust in sight. Can anybody else relate to that one? Meanwhile, I was wrestling with a vacuum cleaner that seemed more interested in regurgitating dirt than sucking it up. So what's the fix? First, audit your social media diet. It's no different than the actual diet that you eat, right? We think of terms of what we put in our mouths. In this aspect, I want you to unfollow or mute accounts that don't actually make you feel good about yourself. It's not personal, it's actually self-care. Follow people who inspire you, educate you, or at least make you laugh, like me. Second, I want you to replace comparison with gratitude. Take a moment to acknowledge the amazing things you're doing right now. Maybe you kept a plant alive for more than a week. A personal victory for me. Maybe you helped a friend through a tough time. These things do matter. And remember, everyone's journey is different. Don't let somebody else's chapter 10 make you feel bad about your chapter 1 or 7. Or wherever you are. Listen, life isn't a race. It's more of like a marathon where everyone gets their own personalized route. And some of us are just happy to finish without collapsing. Guilty as charged. So, the next time you catch yourself in the comparison trap, pause. Take a deep breath.
In through the nose. Out through the...
Or just put down the phone. Or the other option is to switch over to pictures of puppies. Puppies make everything better, right? All right, moving on to our fourth habit. Fear of rejection. Rejection. The gift that keeps on giving. Whether we want it or not. It's like the overly enthusiastic aunt who keeps pinching your cheeks at family gatherings. Unpleasant, but inevitable. We all hate hearing no. It's like a tiny little dagger to the ego, right? But here's the fun fact. I've been rejected more times than I can count. Job applications, project pitches, business pitches, that time I asked for extra guac without being charged. That's still a sore subject. Let me tell you about the time I mustered up the courage to pitch a big idea to my boss. I had researched my speech in the mirror so many times that even my reflection was rolling its eyes. True story. I walked into the meeting room armed with a PowerPoint presentation that had more animation than a Pixar movie. And guess what? He said,
Nah, we're not going to move in that direction right now.
I was crushed. I feel like a deflated balloon. I sometimes still feel like one. But after wallowing in self-pity and a pint of ice cream, confession, it was 2 pints. Don't tell anybody. I realized something. The rejection wasn't about me, but rather it was about the fit and the timing. So 6 months later, the company did move in that direction. And because I already had laid out the groundwork, guess who they turned to? That's right, yours truly. Fear of rejection. Yes, it can paralyze us, keeping us from taking a risk that could lead to amazing opportunities. You want to talk about opportunity killer? Look in Webster Dictionary, you'll see this wonderful picture. That's me. But what if we reframed rejection? What if we saw each no not as a personal indictment, but rather as a stepping stone towards a yes? Think of it like dating. Not every person you meet is going to be the one. And thank goodness for that, because I don't think I could handle that much perfection. Each no is just like clearing the path to the right yes. So how do we get past the fear? Embracing rejection is actually part of the journey. Every time you hear no, pat yourself on the back. No, seriously, pat yourself on the back. It means you're putting yourself out there, taking risks. And that's something to be proud of. I'm doing this video. That's a huge risk. Laugh at me. That's a risk, right? Remember, the only way to avoid rejection is to never try. And honestly, where's the fun in that? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as the great Wayne Gretzky says, or was it Michael Scott? So go ahead, pitch that idea, apply for the job, go for the dream, go for the business, and ask for that extra guac, but maybe be prepared to pay for it. The worst that can happen is that you hear no. And honestly, that's just one step closer to your next yes. Last, but certainly not least, let's tackle the busy for busy's sake cycle. You know, that feeling when you look at your to-do list and it's longer than the CVS receipt. You think, wow, I'm so productive. But are you really? I used to be the king. Yes, there's a crown up there. Well, it used to be there. Of busyness. My calendar looked like a game of Tetris gone horribly wrong. Meetings about meetings, color-coded tasks, even scheduled time to organize my schedule. I'd respond to emails within nanoseconds just to check something off my list. And at the end of the day, I collapsed into bed exhausted, but oddly unfulfilled. So one day a friend asked me, so, what did you actually accomplish today? I started listing all of these tasks I did. Sent emails, attended meetings, reorganized my sock drawer. He interrupted, no. I mean, what did you actually accomplish that moves you closer to your goals? Cue the awkward silence. That's when it hit me. I was mistaking activity for productivity. I was so busy being busy that I actually wasn't making progress. It's like being on a stationary bike. You pedal like crazy, but you don't go anywhere. And you don't even get a breeze to cool you down. What's up with that? So, how do we break free from the busy trap? By focusing on what truly matters, what is going to move the needle for you. Take a good hard look at your to-do list and ask yourself, if I can only accomplish one thing, what would have the most impact? Then prioritize that. I started implementing the rule of 3. Each day I identify 3 tasks that will move me closer to my goals. Everything else is secondary. And guess what? Not only did I get more meaningful work done, but I also have more time to enjoy life. Like finally watching that show that everyone's been talking about. Or, sleeping. Also, let's be honest. Some tasks don't need to be done at all. Do you really need to alphabetize your spice rack? Will the world end if you didn't attend that optional meeting at the new office coffee machine? Probably not. By clearing away the non-essentials, you free up time and energy to pour into things that really count, that really move the needle. It's like decluttering your house. Once you get rid of the junk, you can finally appreciate the space. So, let's stop glorifying busyness. Instead, celebrate effectiveness. And remember, it's not about how much you do, but about doing what matters. All right, so there you have it. 5 surprising habits that might be keeping you stuck, along with some strategies to break free. Remember, progress doesn't come from running in circles or perfecting every little detail. It comes from taking intentional, meaningful steps forward. And hey, if you found yourself not alone or maybe cringing a little because some of these habits hit close to home, you're not alone. Trust me. I've been there, done that. I bought the t-shirt and I spilled coffee on it. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these habits resonated the most? Was it the perfectionism trap or maybe the someday mindset? Drop a comment below and share one small action you're going to take today to move forward. Let's start a conversation and support each other. After all, we're all in this journey together. If you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, don't forget to give it a good thumbs up because it really helps the channel out. And I gotta be honest, it boosts my self-esteem a little bit. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. I promise, no spam, just quality content and maybe even an occasional bad joke. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Time is valuable and I appreciate you sharing yours with me. Let's keep moving forward together, one intentional step at a time. Remember, you're capable of so much more than you think. Until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to celebrate the small wins. They add up to big victory. And as always, I'm in your corner.